Each one of us is born with a legend waiting to be birthed.
Evolution's upon us.
We're about to reinvent what this world is.
WWE's mission overall is to put smiles on people's faces, whether we do that through our entertainment or we do it by giving back to the community. And what happened with the women's evolution really started for a number of different reasons. It happened because we started recruiting elite athletes from all over the world, both men and women. We started giving them the same opportunities as the men in terms of their match time, because like anything else, reps is how we get better. And we started to train them the same way that we did the men. In the past, that wasn't the case. They were told they couldn't do the same maneuvers. They shouldn't try to emulate what the guys did, which of course only fired the women up because that's what women do. And when our women were given the spotlight in what was our developmental territory, they started stealing the show. There were chants of "This is wrestling" and "Women's wrestling." So then on our main roster, in a 3-hour show, Monday Night Raw, that's live every week, 52 weeks a year, 3 hours, there was a 30-second match for our women. And unfortunately, that was the norm, because it wasn't believed that that's what the audience wanted to see. And that's when the Give Divas a Chance hashtag movement started. And it did. It trended worldwide for 3 days, specifically calling for better athleticism, better storylines, longer matches. And their voices were so loud, you heard Vince's response, who, yes, is also my father. I am 4th generation in this business. And what it led to has been this incredible movement. It's so much more than a hashtag. It's so much more than just giving women an opportunity because they deserve it. It's about people's voices creating a movement that resonated all over the world, that resonated in Abu Dhabi. It took us 6 years to have our women be allowed to perform in Abu Dhabi, but they had to change their costuming, so it covered more of their bodies and their heads were allowed to show. And during their match, a chant broke out, and I'm going to repeat it because it's worth repeating. This is hope. This is hope. That's not your typical WWE chant. And the women in the ring saw tears in the eyes of little girls in the front row. Can you imagine the impact that seeing these women in the ring had on those little girls sitting in the front row, for them to be able to see what's possible? Now, before WrestleMania this past year, WrestleMania 35, it took us 35 years to have our women headline and main event. And just for those of you who don't know, WrestleMania is like our Super Bowl. So it happens every year, and this year it took place at MetLife Stadium. Cities bid on it like they do the Super Bowl. And our women, of course, sold out MetLife Stadium, over 80,000 people, and broke the entertainment revenue record, just so everyone's on the same page. But before the show, when the stadium was empty, I went to Rhonda, Charlotte, and Becky personally, and I thanked them. Because when I was growing up, when I was a little girl watching WrestleMania, there weren't a whole lot of women. And the women that were represented, they were in what's known as the popcorn match, the first match back after intermission when you're trying to get people back in their seats, to let them know, the show's on, but it's okay if you miss it. And these women are the reason why the people came. And I told them that they were going to be the example for my 3 daughters that are now 13, 11, and 9, who are going to be sitting in the front row watching them that night. Not only for everybody all around the world, but for me personally, for my children, to be able to sit there and watch our women main event WrestleMania simply because that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. It's a powerful notion to think that people's voices can move so much, but there's so much more work that needs to be done. Are you aware that in women's sports, way beyond WWE, only 4% of sports promotion goes to women, if we're lucky? Now, during the World Cup, it's a little bit different. But think about top 10 highlights. Think about plays of the week when you're watching your favorite sports network. Think about how many of those plays feature women. So when you hear people say, oh, well, nobody attends women's sports or nobody watches, the ratings are down, attendance is down, that's because nobody knows when it's happening. We have to be better. We have to be better as marketers. We have to be better as media. We have to be better as an audience, because the same way we demanded change in WWE, we need to demand change for women and sports and media and business everywhere. So with that, I'll just say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you to Roman and WORLDZ for this incredible honor. And of course, thank you to the WWE universe that's out there that made it all happen for WWE. Have a great rest of your time.